Hello and welcome to Gaming Gain. My name is Muzz and welcome to what is probably going to be a ramble. I'm going to try and put into words my thoughts on my final thoughts on Death Stranding. I finished it today, January 5th, just to date the video. I've been playing it over the weeks since I got it, and finally, 40 hours later, I have finished the game. You can still play on after the game. Oh, I should probably preface this by saying it's going to be a lot of spoilers, so if you have not played Death Stranding, you don't want to know about the story, this probably isn't the video for you. Go and play it, come back when you manage to complete it, or if you just want it ruined for you, stick around. So after the story's all finished, you can, mess about in the world, complete all the side objectives, do all that. I have not done that yet. I just need a break from the game, and I'll get to those points in a minute. But I may go for the platinum trophy later in the year because in the minute I just want to be done with the game. Now, when given feedback, I've been told to try and there's different ways you can give feedback, but I'm going to go with the feedback sandwich, if you like. So I'm going to give positive feedback to begin with, and then it's going to be a meaty negative section, and then I'll try finish on some positives. Because I start with the positives. Let's start with the positives. So I played this game for over 40 hours, and I don't know if I like this game. That is what you'll come to find, is that some aspects of the game I thought were interesting, unique, and other were just boring, repetitive. But we'll get into the negative. This is about the positive. So, what made me play Death Stranding for 40 plus hours? I think it was a game that was very unique. I don't think I've ever played a game like this before, and that seemed to hold my interest for a lot longer than I thought it would. You know, there's open world games, yes. There's games with bigger open worlds than this, but it felt different. It felt more like an adventure. I will say that the world felt connected, like trekking all the way over to the other side of the map and back is a challenge. You need equipment, you need to be prepared, and for that aspect of the game, I think was the main draw. It felt like a struggle, and I liked that aspect of it. The adventure thing, I think, will come back to. It was very different because with often open worlds, the world feels, I don't know the best way to explain it. It feels like there's major cities and then everything else around it is nothing. Whereas in Death Stranding there was just nothing really, but it felt so grand. The world felt so grand. I know this might not be making sense, but I'm trying to put into words why I played this game for 40 hours, because I don't honestly know how I managed to work, and we'll get to the negative points. Another thing, that early on the story was interesting. I was interested in the story to a point. I mean, that'll come in the negative aspect of it. for the first, I don't know how many hours, I don't know when the point was that I started to be like, okay, this story's a bit ridiculous and I'm not really following it. So the story was keeping me going. It was keeping me invested in the game. I wanted to know more about it. Making the deliveries now, the, I won't talk about the gameplay because that'll be negative, but when you make the deliveries and you get all your little likes and all that, that was satisfying. I got a lot from that. When you see all the wee likes and you see your score go up, and it made me, want to do more. My favorite part of this game, honestly, and this is going to be sound ridiculous if you've not played it, was building the roads. I loved building the roads. When I got to that section, and I don't know what it was called, is it Lake Knot City? Lake Knot City? When you get to the bit where you get the first road, I spent a lot of time in that area just trying to build the roads, try to get materials to build the roads, and I think it's because it gave me a sense of progression. Like it made it so much easier to do deliveries because I put work in, and you could just drive on through areas that had been previously quite hostile. You can drive past the enemies on the road, and it's quite funny to see them like run after you. So I wish this game had more of that, more chances to, because you can build structures by yourself, and I enjoyed them to an extent, but I wish there was like a settlement you could rebuild. I was really hoping for that. Like if you could, put some materials into a rundown building, that rundown building becomes like, I don't know, a place to print some stuff or get some materials. But there was none of that. It was just you could rebuild the roads. So I think that was the first slice, positive stuff. So that was the first slice. Now, here comes the negative stuff, and I do not know where to begin. Well, I'll tell you actually where I want to start, and that is the story. I lost all interest in the story towards the end. I skipped the last couple of cutscenes because I just wanted the game over with. It was painful to get through some of these cutscenes, and I know I've played Kojima games in the past. I know what they're like, but I just couldn't take them. Some of them were ridiculously lengthy, talking about stuff that I had just lost track of or just zoned out on. It was a chore to get through these cutscenes, so much so that I just skipped the last couple, which I've never done in a video game. I have never, ever skipped the last cutscene. And that's one of the main drawbacks, was this story that I had been invested in just lost me. Maybe it was the time in between where I didn't play the story missions much, or I honestly think it was just the characters were not interesting. They had interesting factors about them, like Hartman, who dies every 21 minutes, I believe it is, and stays dead for 3 minutes, but then gets resurrected after the 3 minutes, and then comes back to life. So again, that's an interesting aspect. That's cool, but his delivery and the things he had to say, I didn't want to listen to. Same with Guillermo del Toro's character and Die Hardman. Oh, every time these characters talked, I just wanted them to go away. I skipped so much of their dialogue because what they were saying was just the most boring rubbish that I just didn't want to listen to it. The only characters who were interesting to me were Fragile, who was good. I enjoyed her. And then Higgs, played by Troy Baker. Although he wasn't in it enough. If you, if you want to have a bad guy, you need to like. He just wasn't. He just wasn't that threatening. And then let's talk about the boss battle. Let's move on. The story characters aside, the boss battles in this are crap. Absolute rubbish. They are horrendous. You have and towards the end of the game it gets bad. Like the giant monster that Higgs is in with Amelie, that was boring, terrible. Did not enjoy it. Shoot it with rocket launchers, cool. It was that's honestly where that was the point that I was like, I want this game done, and I just fast forwarded, like tried to get the game done as quickly as possible. Then you have Higgs in the beach. This guy who's been seen to have all these powers, and he decides to shoot you with a gun, or try and shoot you with a gun, and he doesn't know where you are. Oh, so stupid. You don't even have a weapon. You just have to go up and use your rope. So stupid. It was so stupid. I'm thinking back now, and I was just angry at this because I was like, this is stupid. And then you have the Metal Gear 4, if you've ever played it. Health bars come up. It's supposed to be this impactful scene, and it was in Metal Gear Solid 4. That was a cool end of um, boss battle. But this, it was so no, it just didn't pay off. And then you had the final boss of the game, which was a giant floating whale that didn't really do much. Didn't do a lot. Again, you shot rocket launchers at it. Yeah, very poor boss battles. And then you have the enemies. The enemies are rubbish. Combat encounters are rubbish. They're crap. They're annoying. The BBs, the beach, no, not the BTs. Sorry, they are just some of the most infuriating enemies I've ever faced because they're just annoying. Like they're not threatening. If there's not enough of them, you can easily get around them. If there's too much of them, it just becomes a chore trying to get around them. Like very methodical, and I just felt no tension. I just felt anger in these situations and annoyance because I was like, oh, I need to deal with these again. And if you don't bring any weapons, you're kind of stuck. You just need to hope for the best. And then they don't even hurt you. They just send out these, trap you in tar, and then take you away to the big BT that's controlling them all. I don't really know. Yeah, I was not impressed by the BTs at all. There was one section in the game where they changed it up. They changed up the BT things, and it was interesting. It was the giant floating blobs that come down. Was it better than the BTs? Probably not, but it was something new. It was something different. What even were they? Like they were never explained. And then the mules. Honestly, the mules were better than the BTs because they at least were interesting. They had interesting stuff to get to if you took over one of their camps. You got all the materials. You allowed porters to come through. But again, they just weren't threatening. You could run in there and literally take them out with your fists. Again, a piece of rope. That's ridiculous. The enemies in this game were just not threatening. BTs at the start were interesting, and then they just became annoying. And the combat just felt clunky. Gunplay was awful. The weapons were standard. Yeah. What else is there? I'm trying to think. There was so much that I had on my mind. I'm just. This feels good. This feels good for me to get out all my thoughts about Death Stranding. I'll need to end on a positive. That'll be the hard thing. Ending on a positive. What else didn't I enjoy about this game? Oh yeah, the same. Like, I wanted more from the knots, the places where you meet people and build stuff. I wanted it to be like a city, like you could actually explore, but it was just the same. Talk to someone a hologram, and then yeah. And let's talk. In fact, let me talk about the gameplay. The main crux of this game. You are a postman, a deliveryman, a porter, and I can't justify this gameplay. If you look at it and all you see is walking and hiking, some people have called this to me a hiking simulator, and yeah, I can't argue. I can't argue with that. It's monotonous, it's boring at times. In fact, it's boring a lot of the time, but for some reason I played it for 40 hours. I can't get this through my head is that I played it for 40 hours. So the gameplay, I can't, I if I can't sell anyone on it. Like it's not interesting. It's not interesting gameplay. It's not like Doom or even The Last of Us, which great story, but the gameplay was also fantastic in it, in my opinion. It's yeah, but yeah, I got my money's worth. I'll say, oh, that can be my last positive. Actually, I've just given it away, but I still want to talk about the negative. Um, I had one. I just had one there. I was going to think about. Yeah, the connection with your BB Lou. I didn't care about it. Didn't care. Wasn't enough scenes. Wasn't enough interest there to make me care about this baby, and it's a shame because it was cute at the start, but then I just forgot it was there. And then you see it in a cutscene, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that little thing. Yeah, disappointing, disappointing. With this is the only time I've felt like this about a game. Like I've wanted games to end in the past, but I've never skipped the last cutscene to make it end quicker. Like that's a ridiculous statement, as I say. I played this game for 40 hours and I skipped the last couple of cutscenes. I don't think I'll ever do that with a game again. Well, I think that does it for the negatives. I went on for quite a bit there. I'll probably think of more, but hopefully you got the idea of where this game, for my opinion, went wrong. And now I need to say something positive about it. Oh yeah, I got my money's worth. Played this game for over 40 hours. I bought it for 40 quid. That's £1 an hour, and I'll take that. Value for money. I bought games for 40 and played them for 10. So I will give it that. But this game has some problems. And if they make a new one, I will think about buying it. Because it's strange. Like I'm trying to would I buy a Death Stranding 2? Probably yeah. just to see what happens in it. And that's what I'll end on. I'll give Kojima credit for creating a game that is unlike anything I've played before. It is unique, different, but that doesn't make it great. This game has a lot of issues, and I'm glad it's over. I can move on to my next game, and I'm so happy about that. You have no idea. I am so excited to not play this game again. And that's not the way a game should make me feel. But I may still go for that platinum. Well, this has been great. I've really enjoyed this. I've ranted for 21 minutes, or given my thoughts rather. I've vented. This has been good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on Death Stranding. Is it a game that you enjoyed? Is it a game that you think is rubbish? Let me know. If you liked this video, please give it a like, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all later. Any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much.